Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
I have Dr. Bakken, the Dean of Graduate School and Associate Provost of Research, and I'm Shabeer Amirali from the Graduate School. We are back again for the spring pre-arrival orientation. Thanks, Dr. Bakken.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
We got a really positive feedback when we did the fall pre-arrival orientation. It has been viewed by more than 100 students, and they also asked a couple of questions which we thought we could include in during our conversation today. Starting with this, Dr. Bakken, why do you think we need a pre-departure orientation?
I think it's very important for students to recognize what they need to do prior to their arrival, so that we want them to feel comfortable in regards to maybe what type of documents you need to bring, or in regards to travel plans. It's real important that we know you're actually coming so that we can have courses available for you. But we want you to be comfortable. We want your anxiety and your stress level to be down so that we can help you. We want, if you need housing or if you need assistance in any way, we want you to know that we're available to help you.
As you know, Dr. Bakken, that we organize this pre-departure orientation because we don't have presence in various countries, because I had lots of questions. We are having programs from different other countries, universities across the world. But we said we will do pre-departure orientation every semester online, and so that live questions can be answered, so that it's similar to you guys comfortable sitting at your home in the late night. If it's going to be Asian region, it's going to be South America in the morning, so that we can answer your questions, live questions. And it's easy to register. You get a link, go there and accept the in-meeting invitation. One more questions they had, Dr. Bakken, like, is it necessary that only graduate students have to attend the departure orientation?
No, actually, if they're undergraduate students, they can attend as well. Because in the graduate school right now, we are responsible for recruiting not only graduate students, but undergraduate students. And we know that may even be more difficult coming over to the United States given their age. So if they've not traveled before, we want to try to make them comfortable as well. So really it's for any student who's traveling from somewhere other than the United States. This orientation is for them to help them, give them knowledge and give them information, as well as to hopefully make them feel a little more comfortable about their plans on coming over.
Some students have shown interest sharing this invitation with their parents. We are happy to welcome the parents if they are attending and watching the live webinar. And it's really important for undergraduate student parents to attend this webinar so that they learn about Bradley, they then learn about the document so that they can help the student, as well as the graduate students. And we would say graduate students are mature students, they should prepare themselves, a little help from the parents, because you're going to be alone in the US and you're going to make lots of decisions on your own.
We would hope that parents would be here.
Yep.
It's a big step, sending your child, undergraduate or graduate student. I know you want them to, as parents, you want them to be safe. You want them to have their needs met. And we will do our best to make sure that that happens, that Bradley is a very safe environment, and they can come to the graduate school, even if they're undergraduates, anytime to ask questions in reference to immigration or classes. In fact, our undergraduate admissions representative for international students is housed now in the graduate school. So they can come here and get all their answers from that person or from our staff in the graduate school.
One of the questions always asked by the graduate students especially is, not only graduate, also undergraduate student, I'm attending this webinar live, so do I have to attend the orientation? Is it mandatory?
Oh, absolutely. The orientation is a totally different thing. So the orientation, the international orientation for students, we collect your documentation. We go through a lot of various other things in regards to immigration and roles and responsibilities of students. We talk about plagiarism and cheating. We talk about resources, where they can get their resources. At the graduate level, they're able to meet with their coordinators, so their program coordinators, and those individuals will help them actually sign up for courses. But they also get to talk with them. They get to talk with other students. They get to meet the graduate school staff. And then they also, we do some things with the BU Net ID, which gives them access to email and access to the websites and their grades and everything. So that is very important, and students must come to that. They need to come to that, and if they don't come to that, they won't be able to register, and there will be holds placed on them. So it's real important that they come and not only get the information from us, but so that they can register for courses.
Absolutely right. The orientation is mandatory. In exceptional case basis, we do have a late arrival for not all students. One or two students, they come late because of health or personal emergencies at home. They could directly email us. We could take the request and we directly contact the student to help them for the late arrival orientation.
Yeah, sometimes plane tickets have been purchased at the wrong dates. So if you're one of those students, you just need to let us know so that we can work with you to give you the appropriate information.
Basically, most of the students, the first question is, how do I prepare myself for the student life? That's what the first question they ask. What should they do, Dr. Bakken?
Well, that's a good question. And I guess my question would be, what do you mean about student life? But some important things would be on the academic nature, would be to make sure you talk with your coordinators and find out what courses. Don't talk to seniors, don't talk to other students. Talk to your coordinator about what courses you should take. Another thing would be to familiarize yourself with the campus. And we'll be talking about that at the orientation, but where can you get things on campus? Where's the health center? Where's the recreation center? Where's the library? Become comfortable with campus and the different buildings and so forth. I think also you need to familiarize yourself with transportation on campus. Not only on campus, but if you're going to go off campus and go shopping or something like that, maybe what is the transportation? We'll also have an all-student orientation that students should come to. You'll get to meet, for example, our police department. So learn about what are the laws and what are the different things, and how can the police department help you. They're here to help you. They're here not only to protect you, but they are here to help you get accustomed to campus. So there's a lot of things that you can do yourselves to prepare. Also in regards to weather, you'll be coming in what is called our winter. So it will be colder. There may be snow on the ground. So preparing yourself that way and bringing appropriate clothes or communicating with us and what do you need and so forth. So there's a lot of different ways things that you can do to help.
Absolutely. So prepare yourself. As a student life, when you start your student life from non-native English speakers, you need to practice your English skills. Dr. Bakken would really, I'm happy to, talk about why English skills are important. Dr. Bakken?
Well, English is very important because in our classes, that's how they're going to communicate with you. Professors are going to talk in English. Many students will talk in English. Everyone on campus typically talks in English. So it's very important that you practice those skills prior to your arrival so that you can communicate. And if you're having problems with that, you need to let us know immediately so that we can try to find a solution to help you. But typically, students who practice and then come over here and speak in English, they pick up things very quickly and they do well. But anytime that you maybe misunderstand something or you don't understand something, you need to ask. So professors aren't expecting you to catch everything or know everything, but if there's something maybe that's unclear about an assignment, about a paper, about a test coming up, you need to be able to ask questions to that professor, and they will answer those questions. They'll tell you. They're not trying to be secret or hide things from you, but they don't know maybe that you don't understand something unless you say something. So you need to kind of have a voice when you're on campus, and if there isn't something that you understand, communicate with your professor and communicate in regards to how they may be able to help you better understand the material. Because we want you to be very successful. We want you to have a very successful academic experience, and hopefully you'll have a very successful social and behavioral experience as well.
Will I have a cultural experience as well in Bradley? That's one of the questions from the student.
Well, I think you will have a cultural experience. So most of you are probably coming from India, but you're all coming from very different countries. And at our university, most of our students are, I would say, white and middle class students. We have African American students and Hispanic American students. many students from India, from I think 42 different countries in the world. But it's a very diverse experience, and you'll get to experience diversity, and you'll get to experience culture in your classrooms from different people. But we'll also set up some activities as well. So typically in the fall, we do a trip to Chicago. So it's kind of a cultural event. You get to go to the big city and experience some different things. We have a riverboat cruise, and we have different events planned for you that will help you hopefully assimilate into our culture a little bit. So we want you to learn about our culture, but we also want to learn about your culture. So there's an Indian Student Association night, and that's where there's food and dance and singing. That's a very festive occasion, and it's for all graduate students. And it's a way for you to highlight all the things from your country. So we're not only trying to give you a cultural experience, but we're hoping to learn from you as well and give our students here a cultural experience about your country and about your native things and so forth.
Absolutely right. We have more than 240 student organizations. We have a Chinese student organization, we have a Middle East engineering group, we have an Indian student organization. So there are so many groups where you can participate. You can express your cultural interest and different student organization as well as you can have work-study balance. Actually, you can study as well as work on the labs, as well as you can also have a personal life where you can make new friends. That's really important when you make a new student life out of your home country to the US. And let's go through some of the key things we would like to discuss in the webinar. The first thing, you need to have an admission in Bradley. The second thing, you need to accept that admission. You need to let us know that you're coming. So we have few challenges. If you don't tell us you're going to come, it's difficult for us to help you out. And the third thing is, make sure that you have your visa interview done. If you have any visa questions, you can really ask us. And so that we have a FAQ on F1 visa, so that we could help you how to take a visa, the interviews and questions, we could support you on that. And once you get your visa, we need to know that you have a visa approved, so that we can guide you from the next step process. So Dr. Bakken and I are here because you might have received emails from me. Dr. Bakken sends personal emails so that we could guide you, support you from your home to here, so that you have a very good experience. Once you have your visa details and travel details, then please let us know, because this will really help us to register you for the classes. Is that right, Dr. Bakken?
Absolutely. In addition, you will probably fly into Chicago. So most of you will fly into Chicago. And once you get through immigration and get your bags and get out of the terminal, there's a bus there, the Peoria Charter, and it will take you right to our campus, bring you to our campus. The important thing is we need to know, though, that you're coming. So you need to let us know when your flight plans are, when your travel plans are. Book your. I'd urge you to book your bus ticket so that you have a seat guaranteed on the bus. And then when you arrive at campus, someone will be there to pick you up, and they will either bring you to their home and let you stay there for a few days until you find something, or they may actually bring you to your house if you've already arranged where you're going to stay. But us knowing when you're coming is very important, because we don't want you to be sitting at the Student Center by yourself, waiting for someone. And the reason you're waiting is because we don't know you're coming. Okay, so it's very important you let us know, not only for that we can, kind of get a head count of who's coming, that we can plan instruction, we can plan classes, so we have enough classes for you, but that so someone can pick you up and make you feel comfortable, because you're coming at a time when the weather could be very cold. And we don't want you to come and be unprepared, and maybe because of the time you come, not be able to get into the Student Center and then have to wait outside. That would just be terrible. So it's very important that you let us know when you're coming, approximately what time, and that you're in communication with us so that we can pick you up.
Absolutely right. Because most of the airlines will accept 2 bags. The same time, Peoria Charter, the bus which is going to take you from Chicago Airport to Bradley campus, it's going to allow you to 2 + 1 bag, 2 bags of your luggages and 1 laptop bag or extra bag. So you have to book the bus so that they know that you're coming. And we also know so that we could help you to register for your classes after the orientation.
And I can just tell you a story. When I came back from China recently, I did not have a ticket because my flight was canceled. And I was lucky to get a seat on the bus because the bus happened to be completely full. And if I wouldn't have gotten on, I would have had to wait till the next day. So we don't want that to happen to you. We want your travel to be as smooth as possible. So you want to book those tickets if at all possible.
Absolutely right. So let us know. The next step is to the questions we are getting is vaccination. Yes, vaccination in medical form is really important. You need to have an MMR1, MMR2, as well as the diphtheria vaccine has to be taken. It's true. But most of you, please read the instructions carefully. That's what the guidance is, all the guidance is. What we do is we just say, hey, we have to take all the vaccination. You just go getting the vaccination done. If you read the vaccine health form clearly, it gives you guidance like you might have taken this vaccination. You should check with your physician. I've already taken this vaccination or not. We just need the dates if you have taken really the vaccination, and the physician should say, yes, the student has taken the vaccination. He could seal and stamp so that we can check back with the reference. If you have not taken the vaccination, then you could take this vaccination. You don't need to duplicate that. But most of you guys have lots of questions on do I have to take vaccination or not. However, vaccination in the US is going to be expensive and it's going to be time consuming. You need to take an appointment for the MMR1, MMR2, and you need to take vaccination, and then you need to prove your medical certificate to the health center. So I would say read the form carefully, go to your family physician and check with that. However, TB test has to be done only in the US. That will be done in the healthcare center in Bradley University. You don't have to do it in India, China, or anywhere in the world. We will only accept done in Bradley University. So these are the questions we would like to answer. The next question is paying fees. If you see the website, it says there's a date for paying the fees for spring semester. You don't need to worry about that because this fees for current students who are here and who's going to continue education. But for the new students who are going to arrive in spring, you'll have a different dates. Probably a week after your orientation is your deadline. So you don't need to worry about, do I need to pay the fees now or not? You don't need to worry about it. And it's easy to pay the fees. There are lots of different ways in the past. Now it's very easy. For the first semester, you can bring a demand draft or cash if you have, and carrying a huge cash could be difficult. Most of you are taking loans or supported by relatives. So either you can bring a DD, and then you can bring some cash for your first semester for living expenses. Or what you can do is if you have a loan, you can pay through peer transfer. And people ask, what is this peer transfer? Peer transfer is like similar to what we used to do wire transfer, but it has a brand now. It's called peer transfer. It helps us facilitate the student fees between the home country as well as Bradley University. It's easier for us to track it down. Once you pay within 48 hours, we know the student has paid. Even if you just got a visa, we know the student's name and everything. We have all your information. We normally put all the fees under your name, so you don't need to worry. How do I calculate my fees? That's one more question. We have kept estimates in WhatsApp group, in Facebook group, and still if you have questions about your fees, email us. We will give you the estimates. Okay. If you have a scholarship, we will also give you the discounted rate after scholarship so that you can calculate this is what my fees is going to be. It could be like you can pay $5,000, you can pay $6,000. Once you come here after you register for your courses, you can pay the balance amount. So you don't need to worry. Either you can bring demand drafts, or you can use peer transfer, or you can bring a travel cards with money. And one of the question is the bank loans are asking for medical insurance. Be clear with us. There are two things of insurance. One is medical insurance, which will only be valid for 30 to 90 days till you travel. That the bank is asking for the medical insurance or travel insurance. And the second thing is the health insurance in Bradley's in the US is different. For the F1 students, you need to have 2 semesters of health insurance when you come here. Either you can take it from India or China or your home country because you're traveling or your bank wants. It should be for 1 year. That's like 2 semesters. Or you can come here, you can take an online insurance. So what we have kept is we have kept 3 options for you. Take it from home, take it from ISOA.org Gold Plan, or take it from Bradley owned, Bradley based health insurance. So you can have any insurance. So do you think, Dr. Bakken, health insurance is really important in the US?
Oh, absolutely. Because if something happens to you, you get sick, or something worse, you have a medical emergency, maybe you break a bone, or who knows, burn your foot or whatever. It's real important that you have insurance, because you want to be able to go to a doctor and have them look at you and maybe give you medicine or help with a fracture if it's a bone or something like that. So it's very, very important that you come here and you get health insurance.
Absolutely. Healthcare is expensive in any country as well as in the US as well, because people think it's not expensive in India, it's expensive everywhere. But here we have a regulated system that you should have an insurance so that it covers you for any illness, most of the illness. So make sure that you purchase the Bradley recommended or suggested health insurance. Could be from your home country, ISOA, which is a gold plan, which is equivalent to the home country one, as well as there's the Bradley based health insurance. So you need to choose on that. And the next question is, I'm worried I'm not going to get an accommodation when I come here, Dr. Bakken. They're really worried about it.
Well, I think that's something that you don't have to worry about. In regards to, we do a great job of finding places for students to live. In the last year, we've had, about 500 students come, and we've been able to find housing for all of them. So we have a very good system. When students graduate, we know what places are available. New landlords are coming to us all the time because they hear about our students and they want to house our students because they know that they take care of their things and they're good renters. So I would not be worried about housing. But you do need to let us know. And is there someone that you already know you want to live with, or do you not know anyone? But we can help you with all that information, all the logistics. But we will find you a place to live. So please don't worry about that.
Absolutely. Some of the questions students are asking is about how much money should I need to carry? Okay, as I said, I mentioned initially that you need between $2,000 to $5,000 for your first semester expenses. But however, if you have a fees in a DD of like $5,000 to $6,000, $6,000 to $8,000, you can bring $2,000 is enough for you as a cash so that you can pay your rent, you can have your living expenses for the first semester. It's easily, acceptable that you can carry $2,000 as well as a DD. Don't need to worry about your fees until you land here, because you need to register for your course, then you need to pay your fees. So now you know what are the things you need to do once you have an admission packet, once you accept the admissions. And the next question is, what type of things should I have to carry? People carry all kind of spices and things, Dr. Bakken. Do you think there is an Indian store or a Chinese store in Peoria?
There, in fact, is. So you don't need to worry about spices. So there are many Indian stores and Chinese stores and very many different ethnic stores where you can get all sorts of spices and you can get all sorts of things like that for cooking. So you don't need to bring things like that. Clothes would be real important, bringing clothes. Is there any type of technology that you want to bring? So do you have a laptop, or do you have some type of computer? Do you have a netbook or some type of notebook? Do you have a phone? Is there a phone? Are you going to get it here? So you need to make that decision in regards to what are you going to bring with you if you already have it, and then maybe what are you going to purchase when you get here? But technology is very, very expensive. So if you can bring technology with you, that would probably be the optimal thing to do.
Absolutely right. Probably you can bring some books if because you're not going to talk to your professor until you reach here because you don't know what kind of curriculum. But if you go back and check what kind of books were used in the curriculum, if you can bring books, could be really useful for you. Calculators, like for the engineering students, calculator could be really, really useful. You need to bring. Okay, you don't need to bring risers or spices that will take huge space in your bags. So bring some good clothes, bring some books, bring some equipments that will be really, really useful for you guys to guide through your 18 to 24 months education.
And you want to bring an assortment of clothes, because when you come, it will be cold, but then midway through the semester, all of a sudden it will get warm. So you want to bring a little assortment of clothes you might wear to keep you warm, and then cooler type clothes.
And sure, some students might be kosher, some students might be specific food. You can bring a little so that you can use it for 2 weeks to 3 weeks so that you can find out what you need it here. That's fine. You don't need in a bulk to bring it here. And as well as when you come here, make sure that you have your medications. If any student who has pre-disease or anything, so medication could be costly for the initial semester. So probably bring at least for a year worth of medication. If you are in any of the part of Asia side, you can request for 3 years expiry in your medication so that you can bring for a year. That could be quite expensive because you have a history of disorders. So you can bring contact lens. That could be quite expensive for you to do a checkup, and that could be useful, so that you can bring a spare glasses spare contact lens, that could be useful.
Anything that would help you learn. So glasses, if you happen to have a hearing aid, you'd want to bring your hearing aid. Any type of thing that you need in your daily life to be successful, you'd want to bring, because again, it, like Shabeer said, it will be very costly when you come to the United States.
Absolutely. So just to go around, we're just summarizing, and we just want to make sure that you have a wonderful experience when you fly. Enjoy your flight. When you land here, we want you to have a really good experience when people pick you up, take you for a temporary accommodation or your permanent accommodation, so that you enjoy. Because the weather is going to be bad, but for some of you or most of you might see snow for the first time, so you could enjoy, and you could start your experience with the white year for them. Don't forget to inform us your travel details. That's really key to help you. And don't forget to inform us, like, what time you're going to land in Chicago, what time you're going to land in Student Center. Some of the departure checklist you might need to bring, carry in your hand luggage, not in your, checked-in luggage. This could be your passport. Your passport includes visa, or some countries they give you a document, so travel visa or travel document, admission letter, original. Don't take any photocopies. I-20 original. If you have photocopies, carry with them. Proof of your financial support, like a loan letter or whatever you have from a bank that it's approved that you're going to come and study. Sufficient funds to cover the first semester, as we said. Sufficient means not a cash. It could be a DD. If you have done a wire transfer and confirmation from wire transfer. Some of you might be thinking about driver license. Driving in the US is totally different. You have to come here within 90 days. You need to have a US license. Only up to 90 days you can use your home country license. But for that, you need to go get an international license from your home country. And it's going to be, and house address or arrangements, like if you're going to stay with your friends who are here, or if you want to put house arrangement, you can use graduate school address, so that we could also confirm with immigration officer. It's like we have arranged a temporary accommodation. Your travel information, your ticket, your luggage tags, that's really important once you've done. Your records of immunization, which is really, really important, as we mentioned. Read the guidelines in the form. And as well as if you've taken health insurance back in India or China or anywhere from your home country, a photocopy or the original of your health insurance is really important. Or when you enter, if an immigration officer asks, probably you can say, I'm going to go to the university and take it. And make sure that you have university addresses, as well as take a printout, go to your department website. It could be computer science, it could be biology. Take a printout of your curriculum, so that the immigration officer knows that how serious you are about your education.
Yeah, and make sure you don't pack any of those materials. It's very important that you keep those on you, on your person. So if you're a female student, put it in your purse or put it in your bag that you're carrying. If you're a male student, you're probably going to bring a backpack. Put it in your backpack and make sure it's with you at all times. Heaven forbid one of your bags gets lost, and it's happened before. And if all your documents were in there, you'd really be in a pickle. What I mean by that is you'd really be in a situation that would not be good for you if you did not have all your documentation coming into our country. So you want to make sure you have all that stuff with you. So put it in your backpack, keep it on you, put it on in your overhead bin or under your seat on the plane, and just make sure you always have it with you, so that if anyone asks you anything or wants some information, it's all there, right there where you can access it very easily.
Absolutely. Students who are going for visa interview, be honest, straightforward. Make your answers to the point. You don't need to elaborate when you're going. People who are entering into Chicago, be honest, straightforward. Make the answers very, very to the point, so that the visa officer spends only 30 seconds to a minute. So he wants to hear that you're honest, you're here, your genuine reason to get an education and build your career. That's really important. And what should they do when they arrive into the campus after they settle down, or the first day? What should they do, Dr. Bakken?
Oh, what should they do? They might want to nap, because they've traveled a long ways, but they can come to the graduate school if they have any questions. We don't require it, but we can help in regards to get you situated. If you want to get some stuff done prior to registration, prior to orientation, things like getting your student ID, a map of campus, some things that they need to take care of. So we encourage you to stop in and just say hello to us. We can give you that information. We always love to meet new students, especially if you're early and you have some time on campus. So we can tell you about all the different buildings and all the different things that you can access as a student. So that's what I would recommend, is that you come with a friend and come to our office and meet us, and we can give you that information.
Absolutely right. We can give you some of the forms. You might have some questions. Don't keep it till the last minute. After you land, you will be given a form called I-94. If you have a trouble in I-94, you could help you out to clear the I-94. Just stop by, as Dr. Bakken said. We don't want you to come in a snow weather walking into the grad school, but if you stop by, we could help you when the weather is clear. Our volunteer team, student team, might bring you to the grad school, so they're going to do that. But still, when you're here early, you can come and just stop by and ask questions, get lots of clarification done. As Dr. Bakken said initially, we don't want you to gain experience from others, just asking questions. Probably have your own experience. That's what students say. They learn from students who came. What should I do? It's not a real experience, or the course curriculum, meeting an advisor, everything is new for you. So we want you to have a real experience.
And just to talk about weather, Shabeer keeps talking about white and snow. Our climate is varied. So it's very different from day to day, from week to week. So when you arrive, there actually could be snow on the ground, and it could be cold. There may be no snow on the ground, and it may be quite warm actually for our temperatures. So it just varies. But it's better that you come prepared and bring a jacket or have a plan in place, because we don't want you to come and not be ready for the weather.
Absolutely.
But it varies. It varies. So we can't predict what it's going to be when you come here. It could be cold. It might not be too bad, but we just want you to be comfortable.
Absolutely. We just want you to be prepared if it's whatever the weather goes, so that you have enough clothes and things. Don't hesitate to email us. First question. We want you to ask us questions, email us, so that we could guide you properly. Any other questions? We haven't heard any live questions. We have answered all the live questions, Dr. Bakken. So thank you so much from the graduate school. I'm really thankful to Dr. Bakken, who took his time. This is a Monday morning here. He came first thing. He said, I want to do this webinar. I want to reach out to the students who are coming in the spring 16. I want to make sure that we answer all your questions. So we are really thankful to Dr. Bakken. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. I hope that you're excited about attending Bradley. I know I've emailed all of you, hopefully. And a lot of people have come back and said, I'm very excited about coming. So I hope you're excited, because we're really excited about you coming as well. We look forward to your arrival on campus. We look forward to working with you, and academically, as well as many other different things. So safe travels to all of you. And please, like Shabeer said, email us if you have any questions whatsoever. Connect on Facebook, WhatsApp. You look at the social media. Hopefully you can get all your questions answered and feel very comfortable in your travels to Bradley University.
Absolutely. All the best. Looking forward to see you in spring 16. Email us, share this video webinar, which is a live one, as well as when we have the recorded one, to your friends, so that they can see the questions being answered. If any questions we haven't answered, we would be happy to email you back, or we will call you and we'll talk to you. Have a wonderful New Year, and as well as happy Christmas, and looking forward to see you in spring.
Absolutely. Goodbye.